Assalamu alaikum, dear students. Welcome back in this course, English 3. And today is our lecture number 3, and we'll continue with some tips and skills about oral presentations, particularly focusing on PowerPoint slides. And as we have seen in our previous lectures, some tips about the font, the writing, the preparation on PowerPoint slides, and the, the preparations about oral presentations. But in this lecture particularly, we'll be focusing on some useful instructions about writing and using PowerPoint effectively. So this lecture is going to peep into preparing, presenting, and using PowerPoint as an effective aid. So in this uh, lecture, we are going to study how should we prepare, what are the key points we should keep into notice, how should we present our presentations, and how should we use it PowerPoint appropriately that could be helpful while we are presenting. This lecture is divided into three parts. Part one is dealing with the preparing skills or preparation skills about oral presentation. Part 2 is presenting an oral presentation that will be focusing on how do you present your body language, your dressing, your tone of your voice, and your subject matter on the PowerPoint. And number 3 is using PowerPoint effectively. How can you use PowerPoint? So I will try to elaborate some key points or some key uses of PowerPoint slides. Starting from part one, which is about preparing an oral presentation, how would you prepare and what are the key points you will be considering when you are preparing for your oral presentation. By oral presentation, I mean your face to face contact with the audience. So, first of all, the first step is getting started when you are there at the stage. So before being there at the stage, you should take some key steps. For example, you should identify the expectations of the assignment. How long should be the presentation be? These are your preparation or preparing measures to consider the duration of the presentation. What is the intent of this presentation? Why you are going to present this? Is this the part of your assignment or your coursework, or you have prepared your presentation just to inform the audience, or you want to persuade the audience to get something? For example, persuasion is a marketing strategy in which the presenter persuades the audience to buy his or her product. Then presentations are sometimes delivered to criticize some aspects of the society, and sometimes you give presentations to educate the people. Sometimes you give presentations to motivate or to inspire the people, as nowadays motivational speakers are doing with their presentations by presenting orally. They are inspiring other people and involving their attention. And at the step number 2, you analyze the audience. What do they know about your topic? Are they aware? Are the audience is aware with your topic? And do they know you? What do they expect from you, and are they interested or biased? So these are the key points you should take into account before starting your presentation about your audience and about the expectations of your audience. So at number 2, you should identify the rhetorical situation. By rhetorical situation, I mean the circumstances of an event that consists of an issue, an audience, and a purpose, and how will you deliver the content. Basically, you can see in this triangle there are three things you keep in view, and that comprises your rhetorical situation. The first one is purpose, then audience, and then the presenter. So this triangle is important to understand for understanding the rhetorical situation of your presentation, right? The diagram on the previous slide illustrates the parts of a rhetorical situation like the one created by your oral presentation. Identifying the purpose and the audience of your presentation will allow you to choose the appropriate content and delivery style. So, if you know that your audience is a corporate member, so your delivery style and content would be up to date and according to their needs and desires, and you will be prepared by using a suitable vocabulary, rather more advanced vocabulary, and you will try to speak in English. Because of this, because your audience is made up of corporate leaders. For example, if the purpose is to persuade and audience is biased, your content should include especially compelling evidence. You should also deliver this content in a way that assures your skeptical audience you are a trustworthy expert. How is preparing an oral presentation like writing a paper? So, first of all, you have to research and gather information. You should obtain the data according to the topic of your assignment or presentation. So, for at number two, when you gather your information from different channels, now the next step is to order your information or the data you have obtained on that particular topic, or organize that data appropriately into introduction, into thesis statement. What is the main statement of your research? Thesis statements is just like, the 2 to 3 line statement which describe the central theme of your research, then some supporting information, some examples, or some proofs or some illustrations about that topic, and then conclusion. For example, if you are going to deliver presentation about globalization or the effects of globalization, so then your content or your subject matter would be containing some introduction about globalization, then the thesis statement, what you intend to do by describing or by presenting globalization, then some supporting information or examples from different types of globalization, and then you will conclude. How is preparing an oral presentation not like writing a paper? So multi-purpose or introductions might be there if you are not presenting your presentation as a research paper or in an appropriate, in a formal manner. So rhetorical signposts should be there. Memory aids and meta commentary could be adopted. Strategies to highlight important points you must highlight by emphasizing, by giving them colors. For example, you can give a red color to the important point just in order to grab the attention of the audience. Then hook the audience, preview the content of the presentation, establish some common ground with the audience. For example, you can throw a joke and try to involve the audience with you and build your credibility. What are rhetorical signposts? Give the audience cues that help them follow your ideas. Some examples are numbering your points. You can number your points and make old to new transitions. Then using parallel sentence structure. These are all the examples of rhetorical signpost, or um, some important clues about the main theme of your presentation. Memory aids or meta commentary also help the audience follow your ideas, and some examples are repeating keywords or ideas. These are your memory aids. Restating your thesis statement or the central idea when you transition into a new idea. Grouping a set of ideas, just keep on reminding the audience that you are presenting on this theme. You should keep your line with the main theme while presenting the examples or illustrations or other proof relevant to this topic. Grouping a set of ideas together under a single heading, giving a short internal summary, and then explaining to the audience exactly what you are telling them, a particular piece of information. Strategies to highlight important points should include preparing or reiterating an important idea. You should repeat the important idea using keywords or vocabulary. Flagging if you remember only one thing, doing the unexpected, using humor, telling an anecdote, changing your tone or volume, presenting an attention grabbing visual, getting the audience involved. These are some strategies to highlight some important points. Now we come on the part 2 of this lecture, which is presentation and oral, or presenting an oral presentation. How do you present? What are the basic steps you should take or you should consider while you are presenting your oral presentation? So overcoming nervousness is the first thing. This happens with every presenter, that he or she gets nervous when they are about to present. So the first thing is that overcome your nervousness. A survey of more than 2,500 Americans revealed that people feared public speaking before a group more than a death. Amazing as it may seem, many Americans appear to consider public speaking a fate worse than death. And this is said by Stephen E. Lucas, The Art of Public Speaking. So, what should you do while you are delivering your presentation? So, first of all, you should take a breathe, a deep breathe. These are some do's for your presentation when you are presenting your presentation. Then appear confident and knowledgeable. See, when you are standing on the stage, you are the more knowledgeable person than the rest of the class, than the rest of the audience in front of you. Speak slowly and clearly. Maintain good eye contact with the audience. Occupy the space. That means keep on moving. Stand up straight. Use natural hand motions for emphasis. Be prepared for questions and answers. Relax and try to have fun. Do some jokes. Throw some jokes and try to involve the audience with you. And you should not do these things during your presentation. Let your nervousness distract the audience. If you get nervous, then your audience would be distracting somewhere else, so this should not be happen. Speak too quickly. You should not speak too quickly. You should not read directly from a script or while watching from the multimedia. Pace, rock, slouch, tap your hands or feet, twirl your hair, or adjust your clothes should not be done during presentations. Constantly use distracting hand gestures. Some people do this, but you should avoid this. You should not chew gum. You should not eat during your presentations. You should not drink during your presentations. You should not repeat stalling words like or basically, and like. And you should not speak with rising inflection when the ends of your sentences rise in tone like a question. By this I mean scripting versus note cards. Format notes with bullet points and important words highlighted so they are easy to reference as you speak. If you want to write out a fully scripted version to practice, that is okay, but convert it into notes. For the actual presentation, you won't be able to resist the temptation to read from a script. So you should not read from a script, should not read from the slides. You should keep your slides as minimum words as possible. Factoid, it takes about 2 minutes to read a typed double space page as you write. You can remember this to keep track of how long your presentation will be. Convert this script, rewrite the paragraph below. Try to create notes you could use during a presentation. This is an example of a paragraph, and you should make some kind of notes. For example, autism is a pervasive development disorder characterized by impaired communication, excessive rigidity, and emotional detachment. So, in this line, you can make a note, a key or a clue. For example, you can write a pervasive developmental or disorder on the note rather than writing the whole line. An article titled Repetitive Behaviors in Autistic Disorder states that some common characteristics of autistic children are inflexibility to adhere to routines and rituals, repetitive motor manifestations, and a persistent preoccupation with parts of objects. You can make a note out of this statement by containing characteristics of autistic children, and so on. So before starting, you should practice. Do a test run in front of a mirror. Demonstrate your presentation for a friend. So before presenting your, actually, you should give a presentation to yourself by standing in front of a mirror and by speaking the whole content of your presentation. Or you should give or demonstrate in front of your friend or any relative in order to get a feedback about your presentation and the content of your presentation. Then you can make a video tape of your presentation and then listen it later in order to judge how you are presenting. And don't forget to use your note cards and time it. Now the part 3 of the this lecture, that is about using PowerPoint slides effectively. So PowerPoint's images must be relevant and enhance the presentation in a meaningful way. Yes, you can use visuals or images on your PowerPoint, but they should be relevant. This not should be happen that if your presentation is on globalization, but your images or your visuals about employment, your images should be very relevant. Then you can insert some relevant tables, charts, and graphs if they are you think useful and informative, should be easy to read and understand. The following slides excerpted from How to Avoid Death by PowerPoint by Lisa and Dion illustrate what not to do. Large paragraphs of text, so this should be avoided. You should not paste the large paragraphs on your presentation because it gives a bad impression. It and the audience lose their interest, while if your presentation have such kind of bigger text on your slides. You could see, before you get started, I would like to share a few ideas regarding PowerPoint's capabilities and uses. PowerPoint is a powerful tool that enhances a presentation, providing the main points a visually exciting way. So um, these things should be avoided in order to get the better results. Number two, the design styles. Your presentation should have one design style applied to it, including backgrounds. So you should apply only one style on your slides. This also includes font style, size, color, and effects. The font of your words, the font and style of your words should be same from slide 1 to the slide to the last slide, however, and how many the slides you have in your presentation. And slides in this presentation are all different. Then do not overuse the animation effects. Some people use transitions or such type of animated effects which are create a bad impression on the audience. So try these type of animations and to because these type of animations are too distracting for the audience. Then slide transitions here. Choose one slide transition. Remember, consistency across your presentation works better. So keep it simple. Your presentation should be very simple and very delicate in order to create an authentic and appropriate or aesthetic effects on the audience. Now came to the text on the PowerPoint slides. Use text to back up your point and reinforce key terms and concepts. Keep text to a minimum level in the bullet points. Use white space to set off blocks of text. Use bullet points as default text format. Make phrase structure parallel. Use assertion evidence structure. Benefits of parallelism or clarity. It brings to your presentation the clarity. Parallelism is basically technique of writing in which you do matching of the form of the verb, words, phrases or clauses within a sentence. One example is she likes cooking, jogging and to read, but this sentence lack parallelism, and the example of parallel sentence is she likes cooking, jogging and reading. And in the first sentence I said she likes cooking, jogging and to read, which is less parallel sentence, and exactly parallel sentences. She likes cooking, jogging, and reading. So it brings clarity to your content. It creates emphasis, equal weight for equal items like likes cooking, jogging, and reading. Equal weight for three of them, and the entire series is more prominent, fluent, flowing, to help readers anticipate what is next, make progress through rhythm. The bullet points above are not parallel. Clarity is a noun. It creates emphasis is a phrase, and fluent flowing are adjectives. So these are not parallel items. The sentence I spoke, she likes cooking, jogging, and reading, is an example of a parallel sentence. Now the correct example is benefits of parallelism: clarity, emphasis, fluency, and flow. So these three are the examples of parallel. Equal by emphasis, equal weightage for equal items, prominence for entire series. Then fluency and flow, anticipation by readers, progress through rhythm. The bullet points on this slide, all nouns are parallel. Doesn't it read a bit more smoothly? Clarity, emphasis, fluency. So you see, these are the examples of parallelism. The assertion evidence structure, because the purpose of the PowerPoint is to help the audience understand the content rather than to provide talking points for the speaker. Using the assertion evidence structure will help shape an argument based presentation. This structure often features a sentence assertion headline supported by visual audience. So basically, this is a style in PowerPoint. Assertion evidence structure is a style in PowerPoint in which a sentence headline states the main message of the slide. You put a sentence headline on your slide, as in this slide. The assertion evidence structure is the example of this style, and you convey the message through this headline, through a photograph, a chart, a diagram, or video clip. This is some example of visual evidence. Fillets reduce leading edge vortices in nature and in engineering. So these are some examples of assertion evidence structure. The assertion evidence structure is useful because it helps the reader or the audience understand the content of the presentation. It helps the audience engage with the speaker instead of just reading content on the presentation. It helps the speaker engage with the audience by having talking points but not scripting exactly what to say. Don't forget to proofread your visuals when you make your presentations. Don't forget to proofread the overall slides in order to correct the typos and other type of mistakes. For a little practice writing effective PowerPoint slides, go back to slide 18, convert this script, see if you can rewrite that same paragraph into an appropriate PowerPoint slide. Good luck with all your future oral presentations. So I've consulted these resources for this presentation. You might use these resources or consult these resources for further assistance regarding oral presentations or their preparations of about oral presentations. Thank you so much for today's lecture. That's all.